This is the installation of my running water in my 1977 Boler camper. I've got a couple of things. I've got some hose that I got to plumb in, and it's going to go into the top of the jug. I've got my little on-off switch here, on-off, and I'm going to put that right about here, so that when you're up here at the sink you can just flip this on. And it's not the exact plug that I wanted, but it'll do for now. And that's just going to run a little water pump that sucks water out of the fresh water jerry can. So I'll get to work and I'll Well guys, I'm having trouble with my original design. I wasn't going to submerge the whole pump in the water, but it looks like it kind of wants to be submersed. But that doesn't work with this because this hole's not quite big enough to submerge it in. Pump is just a bit bigger than that. So, got to figure out how I can get that in there. I might have to cut a hole in that water can, which isn't the end of the world, I guess, but that's what I was planning. So guys, I got this working finally. It didn't work exactly as I had hoped. Got a little light button here, and then this comes. Oh, don't think my hose is pushed down all the way. Let me try that again here. There we go. Got our running water. Runs off 12 volts. It's a little pond pump. Works pretty good. Now it didn't work exactly the way I thought. The button is nice. I wanted a button that one way you pushed it, it stayed on, and the other way you pushed it, it flipped on and off. And I thought I got that for this one, but this always returns to neutral, which is fine. But anyways, let's run it off my 12 volt solar. I'll show you the guts of this here. So I got my freshwater jug here, and originally I thought I was going to keep the pump outside of the jug and just prime it, but that wasn't working. So I had to get the pump in the jug, in the jerry can, but it wasn't fitting. So I had to do some cutting of the spout here. It's a little miserable. Let's see if I can get it out here for you so you can see it. It's a bit of a tight fit. Need 2 hands to do it, of course. Trying to break it. There we go. It's a little twisted up. So there's the pump. It's a little pond pump, 12 volt. And this end here likes to sit in the water. I was going to have it hooked up to another hose, primed, and then the hose just sticking in here, so I didn't have to cut it because this pump wouldn't fit otherwise. But that didn't work. And then I ended up breaking the end off the top here. It looked like this here, just a little knobby thing that the hose goes onto. But I broke it off. But luckily there was enough of a collar there that I could get the rubber hose on. But anyways, so I'm just going to submerge this whole thing. I'm going to have to run it through a good number of times to rinse it well. But so what I'll do is we'll take this jerry can to fill it up with water when we need water, and bring it back, and then we stick the pump in here, and we can screw the top on. If I want to maybe put a bag over it or something, I can kind of screw the bag on and seal it a bit better. And then as it goes in here, the pump slides to the bottom. And then I'll have to come up with some method just to hold this here a little bit more straight like that. And then I come up here, and it works. So that is it. That took a lot more effort than I thought it would, and I hit some roadblocks, and I cut my finger and broke the pump, and had to cut up my nice new freshwater jerry can. But it works, and that's good enough because tomorrow we're going camping, so I have no more time to fiddle with this. So that was that. I'm going to let it soak in the water so that any of the stickers and stuff and chemicals have a good rinse tonight, and I'll pour it all out and rinse it off, and then I'll run it through a couple times tomorrow before we start drinking out of it. But it otherwise should be safe. The jerry can is safe for fresh water. So that is my off-grid freshwater pump conversion using cheap eBay parts and a couple of hoses and snake clamps and bits and bobs. That's my DIY how to get running water in your off-grid camper. With and this button here switch goes into the eBay part, so that's great. And like I said, I just have this running through the stock spout there, and it's not a ton of water flow, but it's enough. It's enough for this size spout, anyways. It ends up being just enough flow for the camper. You don't need a lot more than that. If there's a lot more flow than that, then you're wasting a lot of water because you're probably just letting it go down the drain. So that's enough for toothbrushing, and it'll take a little, a couple of minutes to fill up a kettle that way, but it's certainly doable. And that pump will suck it right down from the bottom of the jerry can, because that pump just sits on the bottom of the jerry can there. So that should work. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that gives you some ideas for what you can do in your camper. And thanks for watching.